So I want to talk about why I run Ancestry test and not some of the other lab. And I want to share the reports that I use also to show you why it's so cool. Now, Ancestry gets a lot of flack right now, mostly from people who want you to run the other labs, that they're making money off you doing that. Now, people will say Ancestry is selling your data. I really don't think they're selling your data. I do know that 23andMe got hacked. They didn't sell the data, they got hacked. That can happen to any company. It can also happen to you. You could go with one of the more expensive labs, spend a lot of money, not get as much information. Your email could get hacked. Somebody could get access to your data. Now, personally, I believe that the government has all the information on us that they already need. I'm also a big conspiracy theorist myself, and I still use Ancestry because at the end of the day, I would rather have all the information too and be able to benefit myself and try to keep myself alive with all the stuff going on in the world. So we're not going to go on that tangent. We are going to stay focused on the test. But Ancestry, the real reason why I run it, and actually there's multiple, is it has the most information. I've been a practitioner now for 10 years. I have looked at a lot of labs. There's been some up and coming labs that I've even talked to the founder of those labs, trying to get them to add more of the genes that I would like to see. And they didn't do that. And when we're looking at the next reason is the cost comparison. Ancestry usually goes on sale very often for like $40, and you get all of your raw data and the ability to plug it into whatever reader you want. Now, there are specific readers that I really like, that I've found over the years that I love. Again, I have went from reader to reader over the years. Like, you can't imagine. I've run close to 1,000 genetic testing over the years. Now, the caveat to that is genetic testing is great, but do not go off of it alone. If you go to a practitioner who's taking your report and giving you a protocol, I would be very cautious taking those supplements, because just because you have a gene mutation does not mean that that gene mutation is active. So the example I love to give is the UGT enzyme, where I'll have people who are homozygous, and there's like a whole, and we'll actually look at it on the True Report, the metabolic healing report we're going to go over. There's like a whole page for that enzyme, and you'll have people who are plus, 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 and it's not active. So that codes for glucuronidation, and when we're plus, plus all the way down, it indicates a person has a predisposition to Gilbert syndrome. And you can have those genes, you can have those mutations and not have Gilbert syndrome because your bilirubin is normal. So the moral of the story is, knowing you have MTHFR, knowing you have COMT, knowing you have MAOA, it doesn't mean anything without real-time labs. And that's why with my clients, we're going to look at organic acids, a full blood panel, and genetics all together at one time so that we can see a full picture and know what is active. But for the foundation labs, I do run the Ancestry, and that is because of the cost and the fact that we get the most genes, and it's a very quick turnaround as long as you pay for expedited processing. I just had a client get their Ancestry results in 3 weeks. It actually came in before their blood work came in. Well, they were a little delayed in getting their blood work. So blood work normally takes 2 weeks. If I order it a lot quicker, if you're getting it through your practitioner, you can have your blood work results within a week. But those are the main benefits. Now, if you still want to go with one of those labs, I totally understand. Just recognize that you won't have as much information. So that is why I run the Ancestry test. Now, you have a lot of options when it comes to what are you going to do with your raw data. So 2 reports that I like to use is Nutrahacker, just because I like their summary. It's like really quick. Okay, boom, I can look at it and I see a lot of information, but it doesn't have that much. But if you're looking for a free report, Nutrahacker's free report is really good. I use Metabolic Healing. Michael from Metabolic Healing is probably one of the smartest people that I've met. He is brilliant. We might differ on some of the ways we do things clinically, but I love him, and his customer support is fabulous. There's been times where I'm like, this is not working. I have a client call in like 2 hours. Can you help me? And he will run the report for me. So he's always there. And he just updated his report in January. And I was so thrilled to see that now it has MAOB, which was very exciting, and a whole histamine section. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over NutraHacker first, and then we'll head over and look at the True Report. So too fast. Okay, so NutraHacker is a great free report. You just upload your raw data. It's really easy to download your raw data too. If you're like, how do I download it? Just Google how to download Ancestry raw data. There's a video, and the Google thing will give you like step-by-step instructions. You just go in on your profile, go to your DNA data, click download, and they say it's going to take 24 hours. It doesn't take 24 hours. So just follow the steps, get your zip file down. Now for NutraHacker, do not change the file name. If you change the file name, you won't be able to upload it. So you get a quick overview of important CYP mutations. So if they're not here, it means you don't have a mutation. And that's one thing. Like if it's not here, then the mutation is not there. Now, the other thing you have to understand is that different reporting softwares report genes differently. And one of the big ones is going to be MAOA. So here on NutraHacker and on True Report, ++ is considered slow, and on other things like MaxGen, ++ is considered fast. So if you want, you can definitely learn what the alleles mean, but that's beyond this video if you want to start memorizing that. So CYP is going to show the main CYP mutations. So this person had a CYP 1A1 and 1B1, and that is phase 1 detoxification. Super important to know. GSTP is actually kind of like the MTHFR gene of vitamin E. So if you have this gene, you can't break down synthetic vitamin E as well. And that's actually in a lot of different supplements, and it's fine in small amounts. Again, it doesn't mean you can't do it at all. You just can't break it down as well. NAT is part of phase 2 detoxification called acetylation, and it's going to pull them, like this person has this gene. When the mutations are there, it's running fast, and this gene here is running slow. It is going to go over COMT, and it does show MAOA. This person, it's not here, so that means the person is fast, MAOA. And then it has CBS, which is incredibly important to know because CBS, I have a whole video on that, so I'm not going to go over here. Just go to my YouTube channel and look at I talk about it on the problems with MTHFR testing, but incredibly important to know because if your homocysteine is low and you have MTHFR, you really need to check if that CBS is active with a methylation panel or urinary amino acid test. You don't, just because you have MTHFR does not mean you need methyl donors. And so you can see this person has A1298C, so they're prone to the low BH4 and the excess ammonia, and it does not increase high homocysteine. Now I have a whole video on A1298C versus C677T and how it acts and what it does. And so this is also going to show the MTR mutation. So it is a quick overview of it's got some good genes of methylation, doesn't have all of them, but it's a good amount of information to go off of, and a lot more than a lot of other tests. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm just going to change over to True Report just in case it doesn't do it, and I just start talking. Okay. And he's not showing my screen. So this is what I really love to run with my clients because of the sheer amount of information that we're getting. Now I'm stopping here on this blank screen because if you have health anxiety, I would recommend working with a practitioner and being very cautious looking at genetic reports because there's going to be a lot of predisposition to diseases on here. And when you look at it and you read every single gene, it can be a little scary, especially if you have health anxiety. Now, just because you have a mutation does not mean it's going to happen. You can have somebody with all autism genes and they're not autistic. You can have somebody with autoimmune genes and they don't have autoimmune issues. Environment plays a really big role on what genes are active. The more toxin exposure you have, the more stress that you have in your life, the more likely a gene is going to turn on, and a non-beneficial gene is going to turn on. And that really has to do with the fact that when your body has the tools it needs, methylation, it should keep these genes in check. But when you are, bringing in the toxins, lots of shabba jabba doos, and you're getting, eating processed food, and we've got the air that we're breathing, we've got the water we're drinking, all these things, stress in our life, emotional stress, financial stress, all of these things. That is when the body becomes depleted, and then we see the methylation not functioning as well, genes becoming active, seeing a ton of genes becoming active since COVID. Also, it's been a huge stress with 5G and all the things. So we're going to be skipping over a lot of genes as I go through this report, because a lot of these genes we cannot affect with supplements. It is a predisposition, and it can create a lot of anxiety. And if you really look at it, why do we need to know that? Why don't we repair the body so the body has the best chance to turn these genes off? So we're going to be skipping a lot of pages here because of that. Like Alzheimer's predisposition, let's work on heavy metal detox. Let's work on balancing neurotransmitters. Let's work on giving the body tools to heal. Again, like these autoimmune markers, we're skipping over blood sugar markers. Again, we test with real-time labs for a lot of these things, but there are some key markers that we do want to know, because it allows us to customize our supplements. And here is the first page we want to stop at. And I want to see COMT, I want to see MAOA and B, I want to see this DAO mutation, which has to do with histamine. COMT is dopamine, MAOB is dopamine breakdown, MAOA is serotonin breakdown. GAD is how you convert glutamate to GABA. So whether you can even take glutamine or not. Now, I'm not doing full analysis on this. I'm just showing why I love this report and why I get an Ancestry test, because of the sheer amount of information. DBH, again, is is a dopamine breakdown pathway. And then we have our A1298C, we have C677T, which are very important with methylation. Again, we're going to skip over some of these. I do like to see NOS3 because we can impact that for some people with supplements. And then CHOP is important for how your body makes acetylcholine. So if there's mutations here, this normally manifests more if you're older and acetylcholine levels are going down. So we can support that with supplements. Clotting factors, again, not something that we're going to look at. This has a lot of different CYP mutations. So this is all phase 1 detoxification. Nutrahacker kind of pulls the main ones. Anytime there's any mutations here, then they will show up. Like CYP1B1 would show up on Nutrahacker. If it's not there, that means you're minus. NAT2 is those acetylation genes for phase 2 detox for acetylation. And then here's that UGT for glucuronidation. That's part of phase 2 detox also. Now, if you're like, whoa, this is a little too fast, I want to learn about all of these phases of detox, in the appendix of my book, Heal Yourself, which will be in the link in the description, it goes over phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 detox, every single one of these pathways. There's a chart on methylation. There is a chart on your blood work, what your blood work means, how to analyze an organic acids test, how to do Dutch. It's a very basic overview of all those labs. And if you're like, whoa, this is so cool, I love this, you can learn to become a practitioner in the academy. But first, you need to start off by just becoming your own practitioner and learning how to analyze these labs. And then you can always go on and become an actual practitioner if you're like, I love this. This is so fun, which it is. It's really fun. Like every time I get a foundation lab, it's like, oh, this is such a cool puzzle to put together. And if you are looking for coaching and this just feels overwhelming and extreme, you can go to my website at sgintegrativehealing.com. I've got multiple package options available. So here we have that GSTP for vitamin E breakdown and that the CBS mutation. So Nutrahacker pulls C699T and 360. This one does test more. These two here are less potent. Like these are our main CBS genes that are going to lower the homocysteine. And then from here, SOD2, don't drink alcohol. It's bad. I just saw a video showing that if we had the same standards now as then as we do now for alcohol, we would be able to have like half a glass of wine a year. So these genes, the SUOX and the salt has to do with sulfation and self-oxidation, but we can actually see this in real time on a Dutch. And in all reality, if you're at this stage of your journey where you're starting to look in your genes, you should be starting to cut out processed food. And that's where the majority of these issues come from, is from like toxic sulfites in our diet. So when you start to cut those out, those work better. And we actually look at DHEA to DHEAS on the Dutch to really see how is sulfation working. Now here again, a lot of these repeat because they're like specific to this part, to whatever they're talking about here, like GI health. These genes can repeat to other factors like brain health. So FUT2 is one that I like to look at. People who have mutations here are prone to lower levels of bifido in the gut. So adding in some bifidobacteria can be really helpful. And then when we scroll down, these are hemochromatosis genes. So if you are, your ferritin is consistently very high, very good to check, because you actually could have a genetic predisposition to hemochromatosis. Now, again, these are our histamine genes, and this is new. And I love this because we do see bigger predispositions. Like, why are some people having such bad histamine response? We have DAO, we have HNMT, we have HLA. MAOA plays a really big role in histamine. So I love that he added this whole section here. And other genes that we do want to see is the MTR. So that one has to do with lithium. If you have a mutation here, it indicates you need lithium to bring B12 into the cells. But the caveat to that is it's contraindicated with MAOA. So it will raise serotonin. And if you are MAOA plus, so you're slow MAOA, which again, on other reports, it can look different. So slow MAOA, you need to avoid anything that can increase serotonin. And I always recommend my MAOA clients to, and it's mostly if you're plus. If you're plus minus, you have some room for serotonin support. Like I'm plus minus and my brain likes serotonin, but that also has to do with my dopamine levels being so high. So again, when we're looking at serotonin and dopamine, there's balance between your genes. So somebody who is plus on both, slow on both, then they're going to avoid dopamine and serotonin support. So I have a whole video on brain balancing there, but I wanted to point that out. Don't just start taking lithium if you see that you have that. Make sure you're checking your MAOA. So this has to do with B12 breakdown. And then we're going to look at some creatine biosynthesis. We test that. So we're looking at that on blood work. MAT has to do with the conversion of methionine into CME. I normally do not go by these genes. I would run a methylation panel if I'm seeing an issue with homocysteine. After seeing the foundation labs, putting in support for methylation, if there's still an issue with homocysteine, I'll run the Genova methylation panel just to see what the heck is going on. We have our BHMT here. If you look at my video that has A1298C versus C677T, I do show all of methylation, and BHMT is there, where it is on the methylation cycle, converting homocysteine back to methionine. And I also have the full Genova methylation panel video on my website on YouTube. And there are some mitochondrial genes here, but again, we look at that on the organic acids test. It's going to show the metabolites. I love to see the oxalate genes. So many people are doing high oxalates right now, and they really should, we really should be avoiding spinach and almonds and all of those extremely high oxalate foods. I have an oxalate video also. That has to do with your sex hormone binding globulin, which we test hormones later. And then, come on, vitamin A metabolism. This is really important. So many people right now are low in vitamin A. They're taking vitamin A in like a supplement, and it's synthetic, and they cannot convert it to the active form. So this is where we see the BCMO, and that's where you want to do like cod liver, something to get that vitamin A up if you're having mutations there. And then we do have our vitamin D metabolism. So when you have mutations here, it does indicate you break down your vitamin D faster. So a lot of people, what will happen is they'll be like, oh, I'm taking vitamin D, my vitamin D levels are low. It's because you burn through it really quick. So this is why I run the Ancestry test. These are the 2 readers that I use, and you can actually go, and if you have your Ancestry DNA, you can get either of these yourself. And you can use my book. My book does not go as in depth on all of these genes because this report wasn't around that to this degree back when I wrote my book. And I really focused on mostly methylation and neurotransmitters transsulfuration in my book. So that's all there if you want to learn to do it yourself. And if you have any questions, you can always just write a comment or send me an email to info@motivatedtoheal.com.